On this episode of the Globe Sports Corner, some big changes are happening in the athletic department, with a big name making a change to a new role. With its biggest roster in 5 years, the baseball team looks to battle new adjustments for the upcoming season, plus the Everence Student Athlete of the Week, the Maple Leaf Minute, and more. All that coming up on the Globe Sports Corner. From inside the Globe studios on the campus of Goshen College, my name is Collin Echols, and it is my pleasure to welcome you all to a brand new season of the Globe Sports Corner. As always, we have a packed show ahead of us full of GC sports info, so without further ado, let's get right into it. A big story has come out of the athletic department this week as it was announced that Director of Maple Leaf Athletics Erica Albertine is transitioning from her role to a new role still within the athletic department. With more on the story is Alyssa McDonald.
Just 2 weeks into the fall semester, the Goshen College Athletic Department is facing a big change, with the Director of Athletics, Erica Albertine, stepping away and transitioning into a new role in the kinesiology and athletic training departments. With a hole in the position, it could raise red flags for potential recruits and newcomers. Head coach of the cross-country and track and field programs, Rustin Nice, has experienced this situation before, even serving as the interim athletic director himself. In his mind, there is no reason for anyone to be fearful because of Albertine's absence.
I mean, we've been through leadership transitions before, and so I can speak to it from the experience of the leadership transition. Like, ADs can't come in and just make a bunch of changes all at once. The institution has checks and balances in place to make sure things continue to operate well. So I don't think a new AD would be able to come in here and just kind of like make all kinds of changes drastically right away. So I don't think that's a concern from my perspective. And if coaches are recruiting, they can communicate that message too. So athletes should feel confident that Goshen Athletics is going to continue to be in a good spot.
While there shouldn't be concern to recruits and student athletes, the change does create challenges for the fall semester. Assistant Director of Athletics, Communications and Operations, Justin DeWeese, says that making the transition smooth and keeping up with the new responsibilities is of the utmost importance.
It's like a busy time for everyone in the department. All the fall sports are in swing. The bowling team is going to be starting competition later this month. Basketball season's right around the corner. You've got like the Leafies and homecoming weekend, and just a lot going on at the start of the school year. So I think the challenge will be, in the interim, filling in all those things that the athletic director does in the meantime, when everyone else has all these other tasks you're doing as well. So trying to prioritize what's important and make sure that everything that's getting done gets done.
Albertine has made her mark during her time as GC's athletic director, leaving an impact on her colleagues and athletes alike.
What I really appreciate about Erica is that she's very competitive. It may not look like an aggressive type of competitiveness, but she really cares about winning and wanting to get the department to the next step. And all the decisions that she made and conversations that she had, you could see it was always about putting the student athletes first and their health and wellness.
For Globe Sports, I'm Alyssa McDonald.
What an unexpected change in the athletic department, but I am glad to see that everyone is still in good spirits and feeling positive about this next chapter in the GC athletics community. We at the Globe want to give a massive thank you to Erica for her great work during her time as Director of Athletics, and we wish her well as she transitions into her new role. Coming up, a Maple Leaf team is making its return to campus after a year hiatus. That's right, the men's and women's tennis teams are back on their home courts that are now in playable condition. I'll be joined by Matija Margetic to get an inside look at the start of the season and how it feels to be back in action on campus. All that and more next on the Globe Sports Corner.
Do you dream of a place to belong, to begin your journey, and to believe in something bigger than yourself? A place where you aren't lost in the crowd, but are part of the team. Communication professionals are in high demand, and Goshen College will give you the tools and hands-on experience to transform your passions into a rewarding career. Begin your career in journalism and be an agent of change at the best college newspaper in the state of Indiana, The Record. Begin a filmmaking career with 5 Core Media and work on Emmy-winning productions that propel graduates to Hollywood and beyond. And take our Semester in LA program to get a jump start in the industry. Begin your career as a public relations major, one of the fastest growing professions in the country. Begin a rewarding broadcasting career on the air at 91.1 The Globe, the best college radio station in the nation. Be a DJ, host TV shows, and broadcast live sports. Believe in yourself and make it possible at Goshen College.
Welcome back to the Globe Sports Corner. Joining me in the studio representing the men's tennis team is junior Matija Margetic. Matija, thank you so much for taking the time to come sit down with me today, and welcome to the studio for the first time. Your first time on camera, right?
Yep. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. We're excited you're here. So first and foremost, you're at the start of your junior season this year, your second year under head coach B. Sturfer. Talk about that. What's it been like playing a full season under him now, and what's it like to have him back for year 2?
I really enjoyed my second season, probably even more than the first one. And having him for the second year was, he's just a phenomenal coach, and I'm really happy to have him as a player. In the first year, obviously, there were we were kind of communicating with our previous coach a little bit less than the team maybe wanted to, so the change was really helpful. And for the second year that he's here, he recruited a lot of new international players who are, apart from just being fantastic tennis players, also amazing people. So we really built a fantastic team and a great chemistry, and I feel like everyone gets together, and the core person of that is him. So I really thank him a lot for that.
And that's what I want to talk about next. This is his first year with the full recruiting class. It's a big recruiting class as well relative to the tennis team's roster size. A couple weeks ago, I saw you guys battling it out, playing like an inter-squad kind of scrimmage style of play. What's that been like? How's the competitiveness been in terms of earning spots for the team and really just the overall team chemistry?
Yeah, it's been great. I feel like the size of the team like this, obviously you're going to have a lot of competitiveness, and when you have such a consistently good roster, it gives coach also a lot of depth to choose then from all of us when the matches come, who is the best fit for each team. So just the fact that he was able to recruit so much speaks on how far the tennis program this year can go. And I think to answer your question, how the freshmen kind of integrated themselves into the old people, let's say, and into the whole program, I think that we did our best to kind of welcome them as much as we can, and they also did their fair share of, trying to also be integrated. So everything kind of worked out, and as I said, they're really a fantastic group of people. So if they weren't, things would be different, but but they are really actually really good people, and we are always happy to welcome those kinds of people to us.
You talked about it a little bit, a pretty good amount of international students. You're an international student yourself from Croatia. How is it for you getting to kind of see, all the different backgrounds and cultures of your teammates and get to experience that on a day-to-day basis?
I think it's always interesting because someone brings their own country with themselves when they come here, and it doesn't matter if they're from the same country. Like we have 2 Spanish people, they all bring their country through their own personality. So you get a lot of diverse cultures, and everyone has their own experience about everyday life, food, tennis, everything in general. So I always like it to have someone new to talk to about the things that I know when I came, where everything was new and you have this culture shock, but then to see how each and every one of them is experiencing it on their own, and what are some of the hardships for them, but also what are some of the good things is really good to see. For me, it kind of makes me feel like a freshman again when I'm looking at it through their eyes. So I'm really kind of almost like a freshman this year again, and that brings joy to me for sure.
One of the biggest stories of the year is you guys don't have to travel as much to Goshen Middle School anymore for matches. You get to play on the home court. You had Spring Arbor earlier this week. You've got Bethel tomorrow. What's that like, knowing that you don't have to, get in a car or get on a team bus and travel for a quote-unquote home match? You get to just walk out to the courts. Students from around campus can come by and watch, more easily accessible. What's that like for you guys, knowing that it's a little more regular now in terms of a home match?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Not so much as like just traveling, but the atmosphere that we have here. I played in my first year at these courts as well, and I remember the atmosphere was fantastic, and the people come to support. Even some people that don't know the match is happening, but they see something going on, they would stop by and cheer. So it's always really beautiful to be at home. And yeah, last year unfortunately we couldn't have that, but then when they announced it this year that it was going to be back, I was really happy because it gives more exposure to the tennis program to the entire school. And I feel like it's a good thing because this year our tennis team can really go far if we do how we are supposed to do and how we are training and what we are showing on practice. We can go really far. And I'm really happy that that side is exposed to the entire Goshen College. So it's always beautiful to be home. And I want to also take this chance to thank everyone who came out for Spring Arbor and supported us. It really means a lot to us. And yeah, I hope to see you guys again on Bethel.
Yeah, there were a lot of people at that Spring Arbor match. My window in my apartment sits right over the court, so it was kind of nice getting to look out the window while you're working on homework and kind of check back in on the match. So obviously season underway. Big match against Bethel tomorrow, some U.S. Highway 20 Cup rivalry action. What's the energy like amongst the team as you're getting into the season and things are really just kind of starting to ramp up for the fall?
Yeah, I think our energy is good. It's where it's supposed to be. We are very optimistic about tomorrow. Last 2 years, if I remember correctly, we lost against Bethel. However, tomorrow I think that we have everything that it takes to beat them. We showed really good tennis against Spring Arbor. There were adversities that we did overcome, and it will be harder tomorrow. Bethel is a really good school, but I feel like if we perform well and if we are calm and do how we are told to and how we are practicing, that we have a really good chance at beating them. And I feel like every single one of us in the team feels like that. We are competitive, we are there. So there's nothing to fear. We're going to give it our all and hope for the best.
It's great to hear. Matija, I appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your day to come do this interview with me. We're really happy to have you guys back on campus, back on the home courts, and we're wishing you the best of luck this season.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
After the break, we'll take a look at another team on campus that has a growing roster and how they are taking steps to adapting to their upcoming schedule. That's what's next on the Globe Sports Corner.
Goshen College. Everyone's at home here. Students from around the world and down the street find inspiration and lifelong friends in our unique, supportive community, right here in northern Indiana. Cutting-edge academics, real-world learning, and small, personalized classes make the difference, all surrounded by world-class culture and championship sports. Most importantly, it all leads to a record of amazing outcomes in diverse fields of study. From pre-med to social work, broadcasting to accounting, schedule your campus visit today at goshen.edu/visit.
Welcome back to the Globe Sports Corner. For the first time in 5 years, Goshen College's baseball team has tallied their largest roster with a whopping 47 players, a 12-man increase from last year's team. With a bigger roster can still come some challenges, but Coach Brad Stoltzfus has things down to a science on how to keep the ship sailing smoothly.
With the 2024-25 academic year already underway at Goshen College, there is a high energy inside of the athletic department. While that energy might be the same experienced at the beginning of every school year, this year it's growing, with the roster size of several teams increasing substantially over the summer. Seeing some of the biggest change is the baseball team, with an increase from last year's 36-man roster to a 47-man roster to start the fall. With the added size can come some challenges with navigating a full fall schedule, but head coach Brad Stoltzfus has a list of 4 words that make up the base for this team's success.
Efficiency, intentionality, flexibility, adaptability, Those are some things that are kind of at the core of what we try to say to the guys and kind of drill into their head to be able to run smoothly.
Adaptability is a word that has spread throughout the team. Senior catcher Joshua Rubio says that the team is doing a good job of stepping up, even when coaches aren't around.
Everybody has to be ready to be adapt. It's a lot of adaptability we got to do, a lot of accountability between ourselves. You know, when the coach is not around and we're by ourselves, you know, it comes down to how we're going to manage our practice and, you know, manage our time. And I think we've been doing a pretty good job.
Part of being adaptable means being able to lead, something that Rubio also says is contagious amongst the whole roster.
I see a lot of leaders in this team, for sure. I think that's the number one thing everybody on this team wants to be. Everybody wants to help lead each other. And it's not as selfish as it sounds. You know, it's a lot of, instead of I'm trying to tell you what to do, I'm trying to get you to do it with me and push each other.
Coach Stoltzfus continues to look at the big picture when it comes to the team's success for the upcoming season, but he is also still making time to focus on his players at the individual level.
The guys might know it or not, I'm thinking about every individual and maybe what they did the day before, what they need to kind of work on the next day and try to get them into a spot where they're comfortable and also feel challenged at times too, so that we can get 1% better every day.
Globe Sports, Collin Echols.
It sounds to me like adapt is going to be the word of the year for the athletic department. After the break, we'll take a look at the Everence Financial Student Athlete of the Week and dive into the sports schedule for next week with the Maple Leaf Minute. Stay tuned in. You're watching the Globe Sports Corner. Welcome back to the Globe Sports Corner. It's now that time of the show where we take a look at the Everence Student Athlete of the Week. This week's award goes to Sadie Brenneman of the women's volleyball team. Over the past week, Sadie helped lead the team to a pair of 3-set sweep wins against Franklin College and Alice Lloyd College. And with her efforts, Brenneman is now second in the NAIA in total kills and has surpassed 1,000 career digs. Congratulations to Sadie for being this week's Everence Student Athlete of the Week, and congratulations on completing this major milestone. Now let's take a look at the upcoming week in Maple Leaf athletic events with your Maple Leaf Minute. We'll turn things over to Joey Paternostro. Joey, it's a jam-packed week. Give us the lay of the land.
Thanks, Colin. There's a lot to cover, so without delay, let's jump right in. Tomorrow, both the men's and women's tennis teams will take on the Bethel Pilots right here on the campus of Goshen College in a U.S. Highway 20 Cup battle. Those matches start at 11 a.m. They will take Sunday off and get back into the action when they travel to the University of St. Francis Monday, September 9th to face the Cougars in Fort Wayne. Those matches to begin at 2 p.m. Then it's right back home as both teams will take on Mount Vernon Nazarene at 1 p.m. On the 11th, they'll take a 2-day rest before traveling to Indianapolis Saturday the 14th as the men's team will take on the number 24 ranked Marion Knights and the women will take on the number 19 Marion Knights. First serve is set for 1 p.m. Moving to the pitch, the women's soccer team looks to turn around the season as tomorrow they travel to Adrian, Michigan to take on the Saints of Siena Heights at 6. Then a home match against the University of Michigan Dearborn at the Goshen Athletic Complex. First kick is also scheduled for 6. The home stretch continues with a matchup against the IU Northwest Redhawks with the action starting at 6. The games on the 11th and the 14th will be their last home games before conference matchups begin the 25th. We'll turn to the men's soccer team. They play tomorrow night here at home against Indiana University Northwest at 6 p.m. Live action can be caught on 91.1 The Globe. They won't play again until September 11th when they travel to take on Rochester Christian University at 7 p.m. Then a short break before a match against Kuiper College Saturday the 14th at Northview High School. The game will begin at 6 p.m. Meanwhile, the women's volleyball team will look to kick this 3-game losing streak tomorrow afternoon with the start of a homestand as they take on the number 21 ranked Grace Lancers right here in the Ruth Gundam Gymnasium. The game will begin at 1 p.m. with live play-by-play action on the 91.1 The Globe. Then more conference action against Spring Arbor at home on Wednesday the 11th. First serve will begin at 8 p.m. The women will take a few days off before traveling to take on the University of St. Francis Cougars on Saturday, September 14th at 4 p.m. And last but certainly not least, the men's and women's cross-country teams both have events on Friday, September 13th. The men's team will travel to Detroit, Michigan and compete in the Warrior Challenge at Willow Metro Park. Meanwhile, the women's team will be in Ann Arbor, Michigan, competing in the Cardinal Invite. The race will be ran at Concordia University. The start times for the races are to be announced. For full calendar and scoring and schedule updates, check out goleafs.net. Collin, back to you.
Thank you, Joey. That is going to do it for this episode of the Globe Sports Corner. For more Globe content, make sure to check us out on the web at globeradio.org and, of course, YouTube at 91.1 The Globe. Check out our other socials on Facebook, Instagram, and X, all at 91.1 The Globe. And, of course, check out the Globe Radio app so you can stream the Globe anywhere without missing a beat. Tune back in just 2 weeks for the next episode of the Globe Sports Corner. Until then, for the entire Globe staff, for Joey Paternostro, my name is Collin Echols. Thanks for watching.